and welcome to MagicBox, the show where we bring together all stakeholders in our children's education. I'm Isaac Carmignani. On this show, we bring together educators, administrators, parents, and yes, even our children to have conversations surrounding education and parenting. On today's show, we will be reviewing recent education-related headlines, as well as interviewing an involved father involved in his son's life and his son's education. But first, the headlines. A recently released report from the Independent Budget Office examines how spending on school support services changed over time as the systems for providing services changed over the past 12 years. Among its findings are that spending on school support actually declined 22% over the past 12 years after accounting for inflation. In 2011, school spending was $293 million, $83 million less than in 2002 after being adjusted for inflation. On a per-student basis, school support spending fell from $345 in 2002 to $281 in 2011. It seems like there is nothing left to cut. The City of New York is running a new public service announcement touting the benefits of the city's historic expansion of pre-K for the 2014 school year and is encouraging families to apply for remaining seats in neighborhoods across the city. The PSA, which showcases the critical preparation for kindergarten and continuing education that expanded pre-K will provide for 4-year-olds, will be targeted online to likely parents of 4-year-olds in neighborhoods where the city is seeking to raise awareness of new pre-K options. Many, however, are concerned about the digital divide as more applications are found online. We hope that the Department of Education has a plan to address these inequities. The City Education Council Committee will be sending a letter to SUNY urging the halting of charter school expansion because there is allegedly a lack of oversight. The Daily News reports that Council Chairman Daniel Drum says the city has no control over charter schools, even though the city must pay them more than $13,000 for each student that they enroll. The city has to pay for privately run, unaccountable schools, says Councilman Drum. He is asking SUNY to investigate harsh discipline, teacher and student attrition, rigged admissions, and other allegations. Let us hope that we can all work together for better educational outcomes. The Daily News reports that some parents are in an uproar over start time changes in the 2014 school year. Some parents say that they had no say in the widespread change, which was prompted by a new requirement in the city's deal with the teachers' union to set aside extra time for teacher training and parent conferences. Frustrated moms and dads say they will have to overhaul their own schedules and disrupt their children's lives to get them to school on time. And that's it for today's headlines. Speaking of time, it is time now for the rest of our show. Okay, so we're here speaking with Syrah and Ariah. And Ariah, if I could ask you, how old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
You're 11 years old. So that puts you in what grade in school?
I'm in 6th grade.
In 6th grade. Wonderful. See, our show is about children and our education of our children. So Syrah found something interesting as she was working in the fashion industry, and it has a lot to do with self-esteem and how we look at ourselves, and it got her thinking about how she can help our children. And so I'd just like to ask you, Syrah, you started the BU campaign.
Yes.
What is that and how does it work?
So yeah, basically to sort of reiterate on what you said, it started with the models in the industry and how they were going through issues, anorexia, bulimia, self-esteem issues. We started the BU campaign to spread the message of self-confidence to youth, encouraging them to embrace themselves, pursue their dreams, work on their strengths, and understand who they were, so that they could actually, you know, feel that they were relevant. Because I think they were so busy comparing themselves with others instead of looking at what they, you know, what they were given, the natural talents that they were given. So then I saw a bigger need in the community with kids. And so decided to actually speak at high schools. We spoke at 5 high schools in particular, including Liberation High School in Brooklyn, the High School of Fashion Industries, High School of Art and Design, also New Visions, which is a charter school in Crystal Ray. So we spoke at those schools about empowerment, leadership, entrepreneurialism, but also issues that they face every day, talking more about the solution rather than the problem. Because, I mean, we're always talking about what the problem is, but let's give some solutions. So we thought about that, and that, you know, we wanted to deal with this campaign in that way and talk more about the positive parts of it. So that's where that started. So then we decided to do scholarships, which is called the BU Entrepreneurial Scholarship Fund, and give scholarships to kids that wrote great summaries. And one of the summaries was they had to write why they embraced themselves, and the other was their business executive idea on whatever their business was. So we selected one student from each school that actually decided, or that would actually win the scholarship. And so now we're working on getting the funding for the scholarships. But yeah, we already selected the winners, which was pretty interesting. But we selected the winners, and now going forward with that. But yeah, that's how we want to give back. And so next month I'll actually be speaking at the Girl Scouts 53rd anniversary about self and body image, which is very interesting because, you know, nowadays girls, they are going through those issues. So since I've dealt with it firsthand with models, I can actually expand on that in a different way to kids, so that they understand it. There is a false expectation that's out there for them.
Yeah, and these false expectations that come through society and all kinds of messaging, it comes at a very vulnerable time, because children in middle school and in entering high school, they're looking to find themselves and figure out who they are. And that's many times as difficult or more difficult than the math and science and ELA that they are being taught. And many times we don't get the opportunity to really teach our children these things. And boys and girls are both vulnerable, even though a lot of attention gets to the girls, but we see it in the boys where they get involved in gangs and in other ways trying to fit in as opposed to be themselves, the person that they are naturally, and figuring out what that is.
Exactly. So I think, you know, it's so interesting you say that too, that, but I feel like not only has the media done it, but parents, they are, you know, are also responsible in a way, because we're putting so much pressure on these kids to sort of live this like expectation, but is it really like what the kid wants? And so we have to really look at that and find out what the kid wants for themselves. Yes, they're kids, and yes, we are parents, but we have to understand what our kids love.
Yes, sometimes.
And start to mold them into whatever they want to be. But, you know, of course, there are guidelines. And so, I mean, but it's understanding what the kid wants, and then, you know, moving them in that direction. But
yes, very much so. And sometimes the images come from another era and another time where our society was a little different than it is today, and sometimes that plays into how the parents think about what the kids should be and should look like and so forth.
Exactly.
But yes, you know, there's been so much talk about middle schools, and the Department of Education has been trying to expand quality middle schools and quality middle school after school programs. And hopefully, and through your efforts and people like you with these campaigns, we can put more of a focus on these socialization issues, which in turn will drive the academic. Because when a child is comfortable with themselves, then they're going to perform better in their studies.
Exactly. I mean, and to sort of expand on that, I mean, we're looking to implement the BU Club into schools and community organizations so that kids have a support group. Because, I mean, one would think that you would need an adult to sort of be the authority in that circumference of that group, but not always, because I think kids actually more relate to their own peers rather than an adult, because they won't really divulge as much information as they would if they were with their peers. And so I think that helps to strengthen them as teens when you have a support system that are within your age group.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
BU club would actually focus on different issues facing them every month, different issues, and they would write about it and they would actually talk about it, but still have a support group so that they can go to if they're ever going through any issues themselves.
Yeah. And it teaches leadership for the ones in the club that are mentoring
Exactly.
the younger ones. Yes,
Exactly.
wonderful.
So, I mean, that's something that we're looking to do. And
Wonderful.
hope to-
So Ariah, you heard everything that your mom said. How do you feel about that? And are you helping her in her campaign? How does that work?
Yeah, basically me and my mom said, walked around giving like fundraisers. Oh my gosh.
Maybe some flyers, maybe? Yeah?
We started a bake sale. We
Uh-huh.
sold cupcakes, going around, spreading a message to people about not worrying about what the people say about them, because be themselves, and we're also giving kids money to go to school.
So that's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's going to help you understand yourself too, right? Yeah.
Basically, from my mom starting this campaign, it teach me how self-confidence and basically, just being you.
And teach you how to sit in front of a camera and not get nervous. All right. Well, I wish you all the success and the luck that you can possibly have and more. And thank you for
so
being on the
much.
show.
We appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you.
All right. Syrah, Ariah, nice to have you. All right.
Thank you.
So Mongkol, it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your son, your family, and so on.
Yes, I am an IT specialist and I'm a dad of 7-year-old boy. He's currently in GNT Gifted and Talented program in one public school in Astoria.
Oh, very
Yes.
nice.
Mhm.
I'm sure he's gifted. Our first teachers of our
Mhm.
children. What have you been teaching your son?
Not really a teaching because I happen to know that there is a chess tournament organized by one of non-profit organization, and I would like to give him a try, and so I would like to introduce him to this chess thing. The problem is I don't know how to play chess. So
Well, then you're like me. When I first started with my son,
Yes.
I had no idea, but my wife knew how to play chess.
So what I did was I downloaded mobile app and I installed on my cell phone, and then this app is pretty good. Basically, I said there's an option to show all legal moves. So basically, when you touch on a piece, it shows you that okay, what are possible options that this piece can move. And I set that on, and I set 2 players for him playing against himself. So you have to play both sides. So I set this on, give it to him, and 15 minutes later he said, "Oh, Daddy, I win! Great, son, keep playing."
Oh.
And he
Oh,
keeps
he's good.
He keep playing. Follow the green dot that it shows on the screen, and let him play for 2 weeks. After that, I turned off the showing legal move. Now he knows how to move by himself, and definitely he's gonna win because he's playing against himself. And a week later, instead of turn on 2 players mode, now I let him play against the computer, the CPU, and he did well, and he finally moved up from level 1. Now he's at level 4. And
Yeah,
yes.
Chess is a great way. There's a lot of programs that use chess to focus the minds of the kids, and,
Mhm.
and really a lot of after schools do it. It's really
Yes.
great.
Actually, I also learned did the same process. I learned how to play chess as well. Yes.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
it's fun. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, we've done that with our son, and it's had
Mhm.
good results.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier that you've gotten involved with your son's school. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Basically, I also on the SLT school leadership team.
Okay. What is that, by the way?
SLT, basically 7 parents and 7 faculties. We meet every month, and we discuss about school policies and how to make schools better, basically.
So like kind of like the governing board of the school, you might say.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you this: you're involved with your school leadership team. Tell us a few things about your son's school that they do well or that they excel at. Or what, praise it a little bit. What do they do well at your school?
Yes. In my son's school, administration, they are very good. They care about kids, and they believe that everyone study at their own pace. They don't leave anyone behind. You have kids who are talented in one field and who are lag behind in another field, but they involve and make sure everyone can succeed. And by doing that, they involve parents and PTA, Parent Teacher Association. They also have very successful fundraising program.
Tell us about that. How do they do that?
Basically, their activities, they focus on family type activities. For example, like movie night, ice skating day, culture night.
Culture night is interesting. I know some schools do a multicultural night where different cultures bring us something to eat, a special dish. Sometimes they'll have a dance, this kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really great to well-rounded children in their education.
Yes.
Very nice. So now, if you had your way, what would you do to make the system better, or our children's education better? What would you do?
As I mentioned, that good ideas need money to make it happen. And so right now on my blog, parentingwithmongkol.com, I started writing a section about how to make a successful fundraising, and basically I give details step by step how to collect parents' contacts, and after you have that contact, how do you manage them to turn that into a database, and then how do you make it how do you use that contact more effectively, like to use the database in a mailing list to let them know about existing fundraising campaign, like that. And this is what I have so far, but I plan to turn this into a tool that parents and schools can use that will hopefully help them make this process better.
So in days not too far gone by, you had to rely on a paper survey that you sent out to your child's to the children through Backpack, and then hopefully the parents got to fill it out, and hopefully it got back to the PTA, and then hopefully they had time to put it all together. If you could short circuit that and get to database technology, emails, and so forth, then less time could be spent finding the information and more time actually doing the job.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do here. Yes.
That would be wonderful, wonderful thing. So Mongkol, it was great having you. I hope to have you again because I want to hear how your projects are going with the working with the parents and so forth. So look forward to having you soon.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay.
Definitely I will come back.
Love to have you. And that's it, folks. Mongkol, check out his blog, Parenting with Mongkol, and that's all for today's show.
Rainbows are vision.
Ariah.